Hello, everyone. It's me, Captain Blueberry Buckaroo, aka Lancer737, and I hope you're all doing well today. Today, I will be, again, visiting everyone's Equestria that I possibly can. Whoever the game lets me visit, I'm going to go and visit them. For St. Patrick's Day, um, unfortunately, there isn't very many decor that you can use. Well, actually, I take it back. Yeah, I guess there is a decent amount, but it doesn't seem like they have it available as often or as much as like Christmas decor or Valentine's Day decor or any other kind of decor. Um, but I hope you're getting your St. Patrick's Day decor out. Admittedly, I do keep some of it out all the time just because needed some treasure chests in my Ponyville, and I used one of them for that for the villain's hideout that I have in my Ponyville. And then, like, technically, some of the Deer Kingdom's I shouldn't say equipment. Some of their buildings are St. Patrick's Day themed because when they originally came out, it was during St. Patrick's Day. And as I thought, I'm pretty sure they are coming out with a rerun of that campaign because I just looked and it does show that a campaign is in progress of coming out. The place where you would click on the main screen for a building that shows like the special stuff for the campaign. Like last time it was the round table with the magical map, but it had the Pinkie Pie campaign emblem floating there. It's the waiting time thing when it's in progress that showed up. Probably could have done that in a shorter amount of words. But anyway, I'm gonna go visit everyone's Equestria that the game will allow me to do or go. We left off on Magic Star, so we're gonna go with Granny Star. That's two in a row. That's an amazing feat. So, happy early St. Patrick's Day, Granny Star. And your Equestria is very interesting. It's very much like how I used to have it. And I miss having all the trees and rocks and stuff in this spot right here. It had a lot of special character to it. And I do like it that they put the lava pool there because I feel like the lava pools don't really fit in well except for in spots where it is. That's either supposed to be sand or just earth where things don't grow. And in this spot, it definitely would be that because there's barely anything growing here. It's mostly just rocks and some vines, and you got some evil trees and stuff like that. Feeling a little bit better, but sometimes I might have a coughing fit, which I apologize for if that happens in the middle of talking. I just feel like someone took a big bottle of rubber cement and just poured it down my throat. It feels like I have glue all over in my throat. It's not good. So if I were to pick a favorite spot in Granny Star's place, it would most likely have to be this section. There's just something kind of charming about having a market, an ice cream shop, and a bowling alley near a barren. It's not exactly barren, but it. There's just something kind of unique about this place. It has a lot of rocks and it's unkept, but it looks cool. It'd be like I don't know. It would attract me to go there. Like if I lived in this Ponyville, I'd be like, that's a very intriguing looking place. I want to hang out in this place. And likely not too many people would be coming out this way, so you would have a lot of ice cream and the bowling alley to yourself and the market. It's probably a green market. So you'll have a lot more access to things than the rest of the people that are hanging out at Trixie's performance stage or I don't know, Sugar Cube Corner. You get the idea. Anyway, Granny Star, you did a nice job, and I wish you a happy early St. Patrick's Day. And now begins the progress of having to scroll through a million things, or it could break down. Well, it didn't break down. That's good. Um, haven't seen any new MLP news. Oh wait, I take it back. Two things I saw. One thing I saw was that one of the popular members of the Brony fandom. They're going to be doing a review of the last MLPG4 episode. It seems like a bunch of them don't realize that we have season 10 in comic book form, or maybe they don't count that it's only things in movies and TV shows that count. There are a lot of people like that in multiple fandoms. In that regard, I can't fault them, but I'm generally a completist when it comes to any fandom I'm in. I love every medium, and I like to count it as canon as long as it's well. To be a true completist, I have to agree that things that are not good are still canon, so that part's true. But if it's especially good, then I'm definitely going to fight wholeheartedly in a debate that this one thing is canon, like the Princess Luna novel. I love the Princess Luna novel. That is a good novel. Celestia's was decent, but I felt like they made her too cheerful. I mean, she should be cheerful, but it's like her method of teaching the ponies in the magical school in the kingdom that she's in. It's a different kingdom if you haven't read it. It seemed like she played too many games with them to get them to learn things instead of being an actual teacher. I mean, if she intertwined it more, her playfulness mixed with her how should I say it? Mixed with it's like she talked in riddles or her method. It seemed like her method, they were trying to make it like Miyagi's from Karate Kid, but they didn't quite do it too well. If they had done more without flat out ripping off Miyagi from Karate Kid, I think it would have done a better job. And the overall story, like I said, it's decent. I'm not gonna hate it. It's just it wasn't as good as Princess Luna's. It felt like this was this more invested towards Luna, that this was about Luna. And the other one, it's not about Celestia. It's her novel. She is the main character, but it's not her that has to do the growing. It's her best friend. It's almost a novel that is more about her best friend than her. So that kind of takes from it. And it's a character that we don't see in other things. It would be cool if she showed up in this game. I could totally see that happening because during the summer, the novel is more summer themed, and I could see her showing up in a summer campaign. Hopefully, they would make the game version better because they do make alterations of the stories. Like the one with the deers is better in the comics, flat out, compared to what it is in the game. Don't get me wrong, I love the update to it. I loved all the deer characters we got with it. I absolutely loved all the forestry structures that we got with the deer campaign, but there was a lot more mystery and a lot more action in the comic. In the game, it's all about making a drink and making the deers happy and want to hang out with the ponies. That's all it is. That's that's pretty far removed from what happened in the comic book. And it's very healthy to be critical of things that you really like because it's a bad sign if you're not that way. If you're just like, oh well, it means you either don't really care too much about the series, or the series is disappointing you so much that you're slowly losing the spirit of being part of the fandom. You know. Anyway, Goldie Pie. Nope. Jet Music. Nope. Blossom Music. I have a feeling it's going to be a long string of people I can't visit. Dusty Pie. Nope. Golden Pie. Nope. Ruby Pie. That's a lot of pies. Ruby Pie sounds like the best one. Cinematic Danger. That's a cool name. Gaspio. Peachy Pie. No. That is not a good sounding pie. I don't like peaches very much. Silver Daisy. That actually sounds pretty cool. Of course not. Another peachy pie. Interesting. Oh, but we can visit this one. Hello, Peachy Pie. I wish you a happy early St. Patrick's Day, and we're going to explore your Ponyville. And so, looks like when you look at the darkness that's been removed, it was optimized towards just completing the campaign as quickly as possible, which I don't blame them because the story is awesome in most of the campaigns, and the beginning story you start with is really, really cool. And you want to get to that instead of having to completely remove all the darkness, and it just gets more and more expensive as time goes on. It's very well organized. Some of it is just, you know, organized almost to the point that it's just standard grid patterns, but you still have some sections also that are not quite like that, and it looks very nice. I mean, it looks very nice no matter what. Um, that's kind of cool, right there. You have two lava pools and two lots where a house would be. It's like, this lava is my house. I am the danger. So, if I were to pick a favorite spot here, it would have to be this spot over here. Something looks very cool about this, having the hotel there next to Rainbow Dash's Cloudsdale structures. Well, it's not just Rainbow Dash's, but you get the idea. And then you have the boutique next to, the Element of Generosity, which should be. But it looks kind of cool having Pinkie Pie's place there. I'm not quite sure why. I think it's probably because the colors complement each other so well. And it's not exactly out of the main six. That's not exactly the two that you would think would be the neighbors, Pinkie and Rarity. But that's how it is in this Ponyville, which is pretty cool, actually. You got evil Rarity right there. Everyone's doomed now. Should be apparent. Well, actually, besides that spot, I also really love this spot. I don't know how I missed this. Rainbow Dash loves it. If she loves it, it's got to be cool. So, yeah. Well, that's kind of neat, too. They have statues leading up to the Castle of Friendship. Anyway, this is Peachy Pie's place, and I do wish you a happy early St. Patrick's Day, and I hope you have a good day, and I hope you have lots of luck with the campaigns coming up. See, there's the thing. It's like if you're on my place, I could click on it and be like, a campaign is coming very soon. I think if I travel to places where people have changed the background, it actually will be different. But oh yeah, yeah, it definitely would, because if that weren't true, you would never be able to see snow. Never mind. I was gonna say, like, I wonder if there's plenty of places that go where people change the background, but because of the way the game works, I can't tell. I also saw a preview cover art on Kindle for I think it said the 88th MLP comic book, but I'm pretty sure it's not literally the 88th one. I think it's the 88th one for a specific series in the comics, because they have at least 2 to 3 different series, if I remember correctly, for My Little Pony comics. One of them ended a long time ago, and it was replaced by one that is truer to the lore, even though it itself counts as canon to the comics and kind of to the show. It's just they wanted it more refined to be closer to the show, and so they had another series. And you know what? I just realized I haven't checked to see if the mangas have come out yet. That's something I need to do, because I'm just highly impressed with those mangas. Not that I'm not impressed with the comic books; those are pretty good too. It's just that, I like Pinkie Pie. She's not my favorite one. I do like her. They actually, I don't like her stories when it's just about her. Usually, that one where she cloned herself was pretty funny though. Um, but I was highly impressed that her manga story arcs were very, very good and insanely awesome. It's like Pinkie Pie was made for manga. She is epic in manga. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for Rarity. It seems like to me, whenever it's a story that's almost purely about Rarity, seems like I'm probably never going to like her stories. Most of them, at least. Hate to say it, but that's how it's going to be for me, apparently. Um, but that's about it. Oh, and if you are buying any MLP merch, like I said, I think you would be better off not opening it for at least a month just to make sure that there's nothing wrong with it, because a lot of stuff that we get is from outside the United States, and there's a lot of outbreaks of illnesses, and I just don't want you to get sick. And I actually have done that myself. I've gotten a couple of things. I'm not going to open them for a whole entire month, if not slightly longer than that, just to be sure. Okay. Can't visit them, of course. Golden. Nope. Aunt Days. Nope. Pinky Star. That's actually an interesting name. Photo. Nope. Cloud Pants. That's kind of funny. Vicious Tartarus. That's a unique name. Yawning Hipster. Big Cornball. Wouldn't mind like having some Cheetos popcorn right now. That sound pretty good. I love Cheetos. I don't get it very often. Like I think I might only get Cheetos maybe once or twice a year. It's kind of weird to say that I'm a big fan of something. I barely get it. Oh, that reminds me. I was watching this really cool show that just randomly popped up, and hi Goldie Pants. I'll hurry up and mention it. They did a special where they were making foods based off what they should be like from an alternate universe, which would be like something that's supposed to be the exact opposite. Most of it was weird or gross, but they had one where they did this funny thing where they're like, in this universe we have flaming hot Cheetos, but in the alternate universe we have chili, cold, freezing, refreshing Cheetos. And it looked really cool. They were intensely blue too. It looked so blue. It looked like something you should never eat. And it looked like they kept them cold, and then they used a bunch of outer candy shelled stuff they made custom for each piece in it. They used the real Cheetos, but then they covered it in blue candy stuff, and the blue candy stuff was like mint fresh maker candies, and they said it was really refreshing because I love cold things and chili desserts. I especially love chocolate mint stuff. I would love to try those, and the packaging they made for it with the quote unquote winter Chester cheetah. It was really cool, and it's too bad I don't remember the name of the thing. But I'm getting back to this. Hello, Goldie Days, and I wish you a happy early St. Patrick's Day. And it's still snowing where she is apparently, or he. It also is similar to an extent to how I originally had my Ponyville. But what's interesting here is they have walkways surrounding all their elements, and it looks like they also have the element bearer's home right next to the element, which is what I did in both incarnations, which I think is a pretty cool thing to do. Seems the most right thing to do. And alas, Applejack's has just a rock because her acting is very wooden, which we all know wood comes from rocks. Well, in a different universe. Um, it looks very nice. Oh, that's kind of sweet. What are the odds that Angel, I think her name's Angel Wings, I know it starts with an A, she is talking with Apple Bloom, and they're both the ones with the giant bows on their heads. I think there's one other one, she's a purple Pegasus, and she hangs out with that other really cool purple Pegasus with the really cool hair. And I remember in one episode she was touching Fleetfoot's mohawk. I figure her name. I forget both their names, but I like them both, especially the one with the really cool looking whitish hair. Anyway, if I were to pick a favorite spot, it's gonna have to be Fluttershy's. It just looks very nice. That's the one that turned out the best out of all the ones here. and I like it. Looks like it should be a Bob Ross painting with lots of snowy, happy trees. Lots of snowy, happy trees with happy accidents. Anyway, Goldie Days, you did a nice job, and I wish you good luck with the coming campaign. But yeah, the cover looks interesting. They're using a different style art. They obviously have a different cover artist for the MLP comic that I just saw a preview for, um, and it looks very energy dynamic. Thing is, I'm not exactly sure what's happening in this because the art is so extreme. The colors are kind of blurred in this picture. It's almost abstract art, but it almost looks like Rainbow Dash and Big Mac are competing against each other in some kind of race, and they both have carriages behind them. Thing is, though, it almost looks like they're dressed up like they're fantasy characters in some extent. So I'm not sure if they're. It's going to be a comic book episode where they are in an RPG fantasy, or if it's just, oh no, I probably only have time for one more. And then I'll do a special reading. But either they're in the fantasy world in RPG stuff that Discord set up, or it's just they're doing something else that requires them to wear special gear that looks similar to fantasy gear, and they're like racing while hauling stuff. Or maybe they're just flat out trying to be fast while hauling stuff to places that are buying stuff from Sweet Apple Acres. I'm not sure. Won't be able to know until I look at it. But it looked interesting. It's not the type of art that you normally see on the cover of an MLP comic, partial abstract art. But it looks cool energy wise. It has a lot of energy captured in the picture. Oh no, you gotta be kidding me. Ah. And the music's malfunctioning if you can't tell. They need to fix that. And there's my friend code if you want to add me. It's on the top left hand corner. Anytime now, game. So far, though, I'm most looking forward to the MLP Transformers crossover. Don't forget about that. The first episode is going to come out in May. And for safety reasons, I would recommend just ordering it offline. Look for a comic retailer. I haven't found one to stick with. They all seem pretty. I don't know how to say it, but there isn't anything about them that's making me want to stick to one over the other. Not to say that they're bad, they're not. And also, just don't forget to check out let's see, Barnes and Noble. They sell comics there. Check to see if they're selling any MLP comics, and then don't forget to check out Amazon and eBay. Of course, like I said, I'd recommend waiting a month before opening anything, but that'll work out because that means by the time you get the second one, you will have been able to read the first one. So then you'll pretty much be sticking with the normal wait time that you would have if you weren't opening packages. It's just going to be a month long delay, you know. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all the MLP news I have seen. I'm pretty sure there's more stuff going on. I would suspect that the Sea Pony convention is gonna be canceled. I, I've said it before. That is one of the conventions I would most want to go on, but so many people are they're getting sick on these sea cruises that I just can't recommend anyone go. because even taking proper precautions, it's gonna be so dangerous going on a boat. Let me rephrase it. It's not that it's dangerous; it's the chances of getting sick are gonna be much higher in an enclosed space that you have to stay on for a good while. Um, I just don't want anyone to get sick. Don't want to scare anyone either. I just we should pray for things to get better to Jesus. To Jesus. Let's see. I think we're just about there. Okay, yeah, we are. Nope. Nope. Caring. Maybe. No. Okay. Peachy cookie. Nope. Apple pants. Oh, we get apple pants will be the last one for today. Apple pants. That's a pretty cool name. Happy early St. Patrick's Day, Apple Pants. And let's take a look. This is very, very uniquely designed. It's organized. It barely has any roads, but this is still very organized in an unusual way. It's very cool. Actually, it kind of reminds me to some degree the SNES version of Zelda, the normal village that he goes to. That's like the biggest sized one. It looks very cool. That is for sure. This is probably my favorite place of the day to go visit. The happiest of happy trees. An evil rarity. She's gonna burn it down. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. So anyway, if I were to pick a favorite spot, it's gonna have to be right here. I love this spot. This is a place I would love to go. If I was traveling and I saw this hotel, I'd be like, man, that's got beautiful trees and a lake. I want to go, especially in the at part of the hotel where the windows face out in the direction of the trees and the lake. That looks very cool. So anyway, I wish you much luck in the next campaign and have a good day, Apple Pants. And now I'm going to do today's reading from the Little Black Book. Hopefully the game won't malfunction too much. Pressing the cancel button. Okay, there we go. So, whatsoever you do. One of the most familiar hymns about the corporeal works of mercy is Whatsoever You Do. Its composer is Father Willard F. Jabish, a musician, author, and chaplain. Not sure what that is. At the University of Chicago. Born March 12, 1930 in Chicago, Father Jabish attended St. Mary of the Lake Seminary, Loyola University, and Northwestern University. He studied music at the Chicago Conservatory of Music and the University of London. Ordained by the Archdiocese of Chicago in 1956, Father Jabish worked in several archdioceses and parishes and taught at Magdalen Seminary, Sacred Heart Seminary, and Notre Dame University. He also served as a director of spiritual formation at the University of Louvain and Belgium. He was a contributor to American Magazine and wrote several books and plays. Whatsoever You Do is one of more than 80 hymns that he composed. His other songs include The King Glory and Lord, When You Come to the Seashore. Father Jabish died December 8th, 2018. While Peter was still speaking, behold, a bright cloud cast a shadow over them. Then from the cloud came a voice that said, This is my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased. Listen to him. Matthew 17:5. People who visit the Holy Land talk with a certain awe and wonder about the part of the trip when they went to the site of the Transfiguration. Mount Tabor is a high mountain up in the north country of Israel. It offers a magnificent view. The cool, peaceful air and the scenery are things everyone remembers happily. Had Jesus chosen to take all the disciples with him to the mountain, they too would have shared that wonderful and awesome experience. But Jesus chose to take only Peter, James, and John. Compare the way this mountain experiences is described. Wait, the way the way the way this mountain experiences is described, that doesn't sound right. I mean, it must be a grammar error in this book. In the gospel, with the way Jesus celebrated the Last Supper with all the 12 for the Last Supper, I can almost hear Jesus saying, "Come on, everybody, get ready. Get the food, and we're going to gather in a nice big room." When they got there, they sang songs and talked, spent time together. Jesus washed feet. They shared bread and wine. They argued a little, and then they left. I need to experience both the riches of our tradition, the supper room where they were to gather, sing, and figuratively wash feet, and the mountaintop where I meet with Jesus on the more personal basis, especially during Lent.